Hello, welcome back to another day in the arena, and here, still in the early days of Guilds of Navnica, we're trying green-white tokens, and we're working on it. I'm working on a lot of different versions. There's so many ways to build this deck. This is one that is kind of a work in progress. Some early success so far, and yet I can't tell you definitively that it's the greatest version. So I'll put like a second tier graphic on it for the time being, but you should keep it in mind. This is a very, what I would call, lower to the ground version, as opposed to running 5 drops and March of the Multitudes and things like that. We're just trying to get them dead as quickly as possible with Pride of the Conquerors. So, don't have any Pride yet, but we see Emmara ready to rock and roll. This card on turn 2 makes a big difference in the deck, especially if we can get it attacking. We can't always get it attacking, as a 2-2 is easily brick-walled by opposing blocker, and this Knight of Autumn is no joke. Excellent card there. Put 2 counters on it, or destroy target artifact or enchantment, or you gain 4 life. Our opponent has opted for the counters. So, what's up? We could Tribunal it out of the way and just take away all of our opponent's momentum, or we could try to save this for something with Trample, something that gives us a harder time. I like that idea. So for this turn, I could flower another land. I kind of want to hang on to it right now since I don't have a pump effect. And I think getting Shanna on the board so it might be able to start attacking next turn sounds like a really nice play. Yep, let's try this. And we'll pass. And be a little patient. I think that one way that we lose the game right now is by flooding out on lands, and we don't have many cards. We actually don't have... The only thing that costs the full 6 is the back half of Flourish. I don't believe we run 5s. Now that's something we can definitely target with the Tribunal. So we're going to show off the awesomeness of Convoke here. And make a great big Sisay's Legacy. And you don't need to pay any mana if you're going to convoke a thing. It's not like Improvise where you still have to find the colored mana somehow. You can get the colored mana from a creature that shares a color with the spell. Now, we do have to watch it. The Tribunal might get blown up. Our opponent shows that they like Knight of Autumn. They may have another. However, if they get back Shalai from this spot, they're going to be thoroughly on the back foot. And there's a Venerated Loxodon. When you convoke it out, it puts a +1/+1 counter on a creature that convoked it. I tried that card. I was underwhelmed, I think is a very safe way to put it. So from this position, I feel like this is an all-in attack. Like, we just want to push damage. I think my opponent will block Emmara, and since we have another, that's totally fine. We get another 1/1 out of the deal, just for attacking. And I'm still going to hang on to this. If this game turns into a grind, if my opponent also somehow makes a bunch of creatures with, say, a March of the Multitudes, and we start a staring match, I'm going to want this card. There's the Bounty Agent. You can sacrifice it to destroy a legendary permanent that's an artifact, creature, or enchantment. That can be effective against cards like Emmara. However, the opponent packing it up after playing that card as the power. Oh, the power. Let's have a look in the deck. We've got, again, this is not, by no means is this a definitive build. It's early in the format, and right now I'm just trying all kinds of things to see where the real effectiveness lies. There are a lot of great cards in the format that it's unclear where, like, how to build Selesnya to maximize them. So you could build this around Tristani, for example. It's a Dryad. Let's just call it that. You could build around 5 drops like Trostani and Tendershoot Dryad. You could build around Knights with Knight of Autumn and History of Benalia. You could certainly put Shalai in your deck. Conclave Cavalier is another wonderful card. All of these, I am not saying any of these are bad. I am saying all of these are worth a try, and that you are welcome to try them. I'll be trying them too. This is what we're playing today, because at some point I have to hit record and pick a list and play a video with it. So I've got all these Hunted Witnesses just as a sticky card that is a little resilient to Chain Whirler, I guess. Not really. I mean, what's a 1/1 soldier going to do against a 3/3 first strike? Not much. But it's good to have early plays and just keep it, have presence on the board. Legion's Landing, excellent for the type of deck. Don't think I have to talk too much about that. But the new cards, Flower lets me run a lot less land, so I'm at 20 land, so I flood out less often. And yet we still end up with 6 land in plenty of games. Flower's a big part of that. So is Legion's Landing. Then we have Thorn Lieutenant, Emmara the Soul. I mean, these two legendaries, Shanna and Emmara, have such a big impact on the game that I run 4 of them even as legendaries. When you play them early, the opponent has to kill them, so having multiples is rarely bad. Also 4 Pride of the Conquerors as our finishing mega face punch, and Saproling Migration because 2 dudes helps you ascend, History of Benalia, and Conclave Tribunal. So if you're looking at it, we don't need more than 3 mana, 3 lands to cast anything here. So it is a vomit your stuff onto the board, hope you get there, hope it does the job. So far it's done a lot of the job. But I would see how something more mid-rangey and more resilient would be good. If people are playing a lot of Goblin Chain Whirler, a lot of Plague Mare, a lot of this effect, a deck like this doesn't have the resiliency to keep up. But it's worth seeing what people do. So far, I've played against a good amount of Chain Whirler, but nothing like it was in the meta. It's not 30-some% or 30 to 40-some% of the meta like last season. You get me? Oh my goodness. Let the flood begin. For example, I have to get out of the habit of seeing a turn 1 mountain and going, mono red. Because it doesn't have to be, although it probably is this time, just to mess with me. Thorn Lieutenant is a very good hedge against mono red. I love that we're playing 20 lands, and I scried 1 to the bottom, and I kept a 4-lander, and we've drawn 2 more in a row. It's basically the game is over before it's actually begun. Legion Warboss is an excellent new card. Making a 1/1 goblin creature that gains haste. Experienced players will liken it to Goblin Rabblemaster, but it is just a legitimately strong card. That is a really great rip. That keeps me in the game. And we'll see how the opponent wants to play from here. Because when the Legion Warboss starts getting good attacks in, you know you're in trouble. Now, the other thing is that this Goblin's the only one that's required to attack. If I'm right, that token gains haste and attacks this turn if able. So only this token is required to attack. The others are not required to attack, which was a flaw. Well, not a flaw. The card was great, but it was a thing with Goblin Rabblemaster. All your tokens had to attack every single turn. So here it comes. Let's jump in front. And that's good, because our opponent, for whatever reason, is stalling here, and we are drawing like a freaking champion. So before we show our opponent the second history, let's send a knight and see if the opponent wants to block it. Probably not, but they might have changed their mind about that block if they knew we had a second History of Benalia that's going to make more knights and get them super pumped. Then you trade a lot more aggressively for the knights. Charging Monstrosaur is a big boy. But I'm not going to block it. I'm going to let the Charging Monstrosaur hit me a few times, and I'm going to dial up reverse pressure with my knights. Yeah, because these are untapped, we can attack with everything. I actually wonder if the opponent should have held back their Monstrosaur, seeing what was coming, but because there's no surprises here from the way that the history played out. Yet, sometimes red players, they just attack. They attack, and they don't stop attacking. It's kind of amazing how this hand in particular has played out without being vulnerable to Chain Whirler, despite our deck having a lot of cards that are. Our opponent could be slow rolling a Chain Whirler when they see that we're green-white, only to find that we can play Thorn Lieutenant, History, Shanna, and be perfectly in the game. Yeah, do it. Oh my goodness. History of Benalia is a stupidly broken card. Dirty Birdie, that's what this is. Oh, everybody in. And dead. Unreal. So that hand, I guess that's why you try not to tilt when you keep a 4-lander, scry a land to the bottom, draws 2 straight lands in your 20 land deck. Sometimes the top of your deck decides, you're right, we were too harsh, we went too ham, we'll just feed you 3 History of Benalias, and then you can win on curve. So, I mean, I've been on the other side of that history beating. It happened to me, there was literally a section of gameplay, I think it was 2 days ago now, where my opponents played History of Benalias on turn 3, another history on turn 4, another history on turn 5, 3 games in a row. One was a rematch, so one, it was the same person doing it to me twice in a row, but the other time was another different player, and I just kept wondering, what are the odds that that in 3 different games I would get triple History of Benalia? Oh man, so this does not curve out quite the way we want, but it's plays for days, and it gets to Pride pretty well. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 permanents on its own. So I think I can keep it. 8 if you count the flower, which we can. It's going to be a little awkward. Our turn 1 isn't going to do much, but next turn we can flower and do some other stuff. Okay. Or maybe we don't have to flower. Where to begin? Probably... Just trying to think of... I mean, it's just a forest, but already I'm thinking of the plays it could lead my opponent to, and how they would... Whether or not a couple 1/1s are more likely to get through, or a witness that I'd want to trade. But I'll go with the mana-efficient play and stop overthinking it like a wimp. Wimps, that's not true. Wimps don't overthink any... That doesn't make you a wimp to overthink things. I would just say that thinking too long there does just kind of drag me down. It slows down the video, takes your time. I can do better. Now, do we want to fetch a land? I think that this is another situation where we don't want to fetch a land right away. We can always do it later. Our whole hand is full of, like, our whole deck is cheap stuff. There's a, oh my goodness. So it's beginning. The token hate is beginning, my friends. History. So this is a hand that has no resistance whatsoever to Chain Whirlers and Plague Mares. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. And again, no problem drawing lots of land. So here is a card. Erstwhile Trooper. Discard creature card for +2/+2 and trample. Do it once a turn. Pass turn. Come on, we need to draw. Not that. We need to draw not that. This is really bad. This is the worst. We just one Plague Mare. Game over. So sometimes the top of the deck giveth, sometimes it taketh away. I guess we can't always draw History of Benalia off the top like a god. Sometimes we're just gonna draw endless land. That's a really cruel shuffle. Well, we deserve that. Karma for the last game. That is... Yep. That's the other way it can go. That's the other side of the coin, everybody. Okay. I mean, we have to mulligan it, right? Right. It's just getting a little tilting. All right, keeps. Bottom. 2 life. I don't know. Maybe 18 lands the answer. Of course, that first hand is like, obviously 18 land doesn't do much there. Well, this faces down a Banneret just fine. But so does a Thorn Lieutenant. But I don't want to trade my Thorn Lieutenant with Banneret. But yeah. It's just another mulligan into essentially 6 land. Let's see if we can get the Benalia luck draw or the Eternal Flood. We've seen that both exist. What will it be this game? That's what keeps you coming back, right? Oh, Magic. What will it be this game? What are you going to do to me now? At least we've got the Boros Mentor Train slowed, which this deck is very good at that. And specifically that. I guess I'll go get lands out of my deck. I don't have any creatures to pump, so maybe saving for the Flourish is a bad idea. Maybe I should just be getting all the land out of my deck so I don't draw so many. Then I can stop my whining. We'll try that. Alright, well right now I have 5 lands, so there's really no reason to do that, when this could have a big impact later. So now what? Taj, we got the Tajik, we got the War Boss, we got the Tajik. Well, they have to decide how much they hate Thorn Lieutenant, but they could hold back. Tajik can gain first strike, which is a good reason to hold back, is it starts getting in next turn, I can't mess with it, but no, the opponent just wants to mentor something. I don't like this at all. It's absolutely a throwaway of the Goblin Banneret for 3 damage. I wouldn't have made that play. Okay, well, this is getting so awkward. All right. I mean, that's the way you want to do it, Magic. All right, but it looks like our opponent's having some mana trouble. But they could have flipped their landing last turn and didn't, so I don't think that their hand is like a bunch of 4s and 5s or anything. Could have attacked first and had that first strike available, which would have been, I think, a lot better than no attacks at all. Hey, there's the card of the day. There we go. Now we're doing it. Now we're doing it, everybody. TikTok. I have a feeling my knight's about to die. We need to draw 3 of those in a row again. That would be great. Yeah, that would be nice. Pew pew. Zap zap. Mm-hmm. I think I need to flip to get the lifelinker, so blocking with 100 Witness makes sense. And I'll put this block over here, or we can put this block here and put this block here, and the opponent has to have a trick. I think this attack makes it pretty likely that they have a trick. And either one kind of wrecks the Thorn Lieutenant, but taking that much damage seems unwise. So I'll go like this. We'll see how it goes. In theory, I have a whole bunch more creatures I could draw. In theory. Thorn Lieutenant is pretty good with 6 mana. However, I don't feel like I can wait and spend my mana on that every turn trying to brick wall. Okay, opponent with nothing. That's something. Something that's nothing. That's what that is. Can I get some life? I think they must be sitting... There must be Aurelia. There must be some really big power stuff coming. The fact that Aurelia gives Trample and Vigilance is so nasty. Then when you have First Strike and Mentor on top of it, it's... Ugh. Such a beating. Alright. My opponent's sitting on Lightning Strike? What is going on? More shock. Living the shock life. I think that blocking with the Witness to get my lifelink token would be wise. Give me my soldier. Because I'm a soldier. Oh, okay, now we're talking. So you're telling me there's a chance. As long as there isn't a Chain Whirler. It would be really frustrating if that was my opponent's hand, like a bunch of Chain Whirlers, and they draw a red source, like, right now. Kick it. Thank God we have some, like, hidden split cards going on. And we're looking at 18 damage if the opponent leaves their guard down. That's a lot of damage. Yeah, there you are. Knew it. I knew it. Knew it was you. So that's going to pump the Taj. Taj is going to come in. We're going to take the damage. Then we're going to Flourish, and we're going to put the opponent on very low life total. We're going to gain 6 life from our soldier tokens. Hopefully that's enough to survive. Oh, okay. No Ataxies. What do they know? Well, still, if they have to trade away the Taj, I'm a happy guy. And Aurelia can't kill anything on its own, so this is still the play. You gotta get it in while you can. And Taj will not block. Our opponent would rather go to 1. We're at 20. Can they pull this off? What combination of cards could they have to pull this off? The Legion's Edge does not trade. That is the message. Okay, Exemplar of Justice. The Heroic Reinforcements. I don't think that's enough. I think it's still at least 7 points short. 8 points short. Mentor. 9, 7, 6, 5 points short because of Mentor and Mentor. That's really close. That is a load of damage, but I don't think it's enough. Unless my math skills are the absolute dirt worst. We're going to sit here. The music has completely abandoned us. They just don't know what to say. They're like, don't know. Perhaps the opponent forgot about the lifelink on the soldier tokens, and that was the reason for blocks the way they were, as this would have definitely been enough to kill somebody at 14, but we're going to survive at 5. Let's throw our opponent a good game. That was a close game. Oh, and I didn't get to show the absolute critical role of drawing the Pride for the absolute lulls. So there was no way out of that for them, and that's, I think, a good place to leave it. So the top decks give it, the top decks take it away. I'll try to get better at not tilting when I'm flooding, because I guess you could always just draw the nuts and be back in the game. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to see more green-white tokens gameplay... Oh wait, I have announcements. Okay. So I may or may not get a supporters video for this green-white tokens deck, but I'm sure I'm going to play it more, and this won't be the last time you see a Selesnya kind of go wide approach here in the format. There's a lot of different takes on the deck and a lot of different ways to play it, so don't worry. There'll be plenty more of that to come. What I am going to do today is something I haven't done before and probably won't do very often. We're going to take Young CGB live. I'm going to play a whole bunch of the singleton events and work on a whole bunch of decks on Twitch. So if you are a fan of the Young CGB series, come out sometime starting probably pretty soon. If you're watching this video, it's probably happening right now or shortly thereafter. I'm going to post it today. I'm going to get some snacks, some food, and I'm going to get ready and I'm going to go live. And I'm going to make sure that I also get to watch my favorite football game, so I can't stream for like 8 hours or anything. College football is a big deal for me. I very much enjoy it. But anyway, if you are a fan of Young CGB and want to support the show, I know some of you are a little unhappy that there won't be as many videos in the series as last time is announced, and that many of them will be supporter-only videos. This is a way to watch a lot of Young CGB play for free and come hang out on Twitch and interact. So if you would like to, please come on over. That is, of course, for today, the day I'm posting this video, Saturday, September 29th. Thank you so much for watching. I've had a really good time here in New Guilds of Ravnica Standard making these videos. I have no lack of things I can't wait to show you. So subscribe to the channel where we're going to try to play a different deck every single day of the format. That is the goal of the channel. New decks every day. And I'll see you with the next one.